Behind every wedding, there's a little make-believe. But magical fantasy weddings aren't just for fairy tales. Weddings of a Lifetime joins 4 couples who let their imaginations run wild to create their ultimate fantasy wedding. Real people, extraordinary weddings. From a flamboyant masquerade celebration...
I mean, it was just like Cinderella at the ball. We walked in, it was so cool.
...to a lavish Moroccan party with a theatrical flair.
I could not have dreamt of a better wedding. It was perfection.
From a sun-kissed ceremony on Paradise Island in the Bahamas.
Man, we were grinning folks. Everybody from the time we got there to the time we left.
To a grand storybook wedding with everything perfect to the last detail.
It couldn't have been a more perfect setting. I mean, if you wanted the fairy tale, this was indeed it.
Plus, the fantasy wedding dress that actress Christina Applegate created with celebrity designer Reem Acra.
I wanted to make sure that it was very sexy because Christina is a sexy woman.
And Leah Thompson, star of Lifetime's new series For the People, revisits photographs from her big day.
I remember being very, very nervous, but by the end of the day, it was great.
It's a celebration of love, passion, and imagination as Weddings of a Lifetime presents Fantasy Weddings. Sometimes dreams really do come true.
I just was like, please give me someone that's just got a big heart. Please, that's all I care about. That's all I care about.
And some people really do find love at first sight.
I knew I was in love with Nick the first time I met her.
When Matt Bogan and Nicole York found the relationship they'd always dreamed of, they created a wedding straight from a fantasy.
It was everything that I dreamed of since I was in 3rd grade.
It was something she'd always dreamed about, and she really had it thought out in her head. I wasn't sure.
It was really, really, really cool for us.
She was an art director just arrived in LA. He was a single parent working in advertising. But when fate brought Matt and Nicole together at work, there was an instant connection.
As soon as I walked in the office and sat down, Matt walked into my office, and I looked at him and he looked at me, and it was this immediate feeling like I was home, like he was my best friend.
I knew this was something special, and after the first date, I had no doubt. 20 minutes into the first date, I had no doubt.
Matt and Nicole quickly became inseparable, and the following Christmas, while Nicole was visiting her parents in Virginia, an unexpected guest arrived.
I walked in right through the garage and just said, "Oh, it's cold outside."
I turned around and I almost dropped my dish.
And she screamed and she ran into my arms. And then about 20 minutes later, after we'd all said hello, we went for a little walk.
All of a sudden it hit me, and I thought to myself, what should I wear? What coat should I have on? This is the coat that he's gonna propose in, and I better remember this coat, and what hat am I gonna wear? Should I wear gloves?
And we walked down behind her mom's house, kind of down this hill, and I got out the ring and got down on one knee, which was quite a sacrifice because it was cold and rainy there, and so I basically got down in the mud.
It was time to plan a wedding, and now that Nicole had found the man of her dreams, she had no doubt about the kind of wedding she wanted.
The theme of our wedding was a masquerade ball. And when I was in 3rd grade, I remember talking to my mother about how I dreamed of having a masquerade ball, and I kept asking my mom, will you have one? Please, will you have one? And she never did, so.
Nicole never forgot her 3rd grade dream, and she and Matt decided on a Cirque du Soleil-style masquerade wedding to be held in the spring in Los Angeles. Preparations began with the dress, a strapless corset-style gown in white satin embroidered with beads and sequins.
I put on this dress, and without saying a word, I looked in the mirror and started crying. My mom was getting sodas next door, and she walked in, and I looked down at her, and she just sobbed.
You know, I didn't think you did. I didn't think that was possible, but you know, when she stood there in that dress, I'm like, yeah.
And to complement the gown, Nicole asked designer Nelson de Leon to create a headpiece in the style of a Russian princess.
We definitely wanted something a little bit dramatic. And of course, after seeing like the type of wedding that she were planning to have, it was very easy to create this fabulous headpiece. She made me feel very comfortable, and that's how we create beautiful.
It's like nothing I've ever seen. It's this jeweled headpiece that comes up about this high, and it's silver, and he created this mask for me that was just beautiful with rhinestones, and it had rhinestones hanging down from it. And he put it on my head, and the same thing. We just sobbed.
Nicole had encouraged each of her bridesmaids to come up with their own fantasy costumes, and on the day of the wedding, the bride-to-be was thrilled by the results.
I mean, everyone just dialed in. I mean, it's just awesome. And I was just excited to see the bridesmaids finish as they were to see me, you know.
For his part, Matt had no doubt who should take on the role of best man, his 11-year-old daughter, Hannah.
To have Hannah as my best man meant everything to me, because she really is, you know, along, of course, with Nick, my best friend.
And so, in the grand hallway of LA's newly restored Park Plaza Hotel, a truly unique couple enjoyed a one-of-a-kind fantasy wedding.
Oh, when I saw her walk in the door, I just gasped. So did the whole crowd. She looked so beautiful. I locked on to her as she walked down with her father, and I just was like, ah, my God, this is amazing. You're so gorgeous.
Wow, this is it. My dad was walking me down the aisle, and I was very aware of him, and he was sobbing, which didn't help me at all.
And our taking arms and connecting face to face for the first time was, absolutely.
It was magical.
It was fantastic.
Really magical.
I will be eternally grateful that when the time came for you to find someone to share your life with, I was the one you allowed to find you. And I promise that for the rest of our lives, I will do everything I can to be worthy of the great honor that it is to be called your husband.
So they said, okay, now it's time for Nicole to do her vows with Matt. And I said, well, before I do that, I'd like to take vows with someone special.
Say some vows to someone else in the family first.
And I walked over to Hannah.
I, Nicole York, choose you, Hannah Brogan, to be my family. I promise to honor and respect you. I make these promises lovingly and freely, and vow to honor them all the days of my life. I love you.
My vows to him, I read my first journal entry out loud to everyone because it was so telling of how we were meant to be together.
Dear Journal, it's the night after my first date with you, and I have to say it was the best date I've ever had. I've never laughed so long, so hard, and the salmon was excellent.
May I present to you Nicole York and Matt Bogan, husband and wife. You may now kiss the bride.
I couldn't breathe it in. I just kept having to remind myself to breathe.
After the emotional ceremony, the wedding party retreated to an adjacent ballroom where guests explored their own fantasies for Matt and Nicole's masquerade.
During our entrance into the reception, we did the full masks on and were announced. I mean, it was just like Cinderella at the ball. We walked in, it was just so cool.
After dinner, the bride's friend Sally gave a heartfelt toast.
I mean, it's amazing. It's like Nick and Matt aren't just popular, they're everyone's favorites.
And when it came time to cut the cake, guests enjoyed a colorful surprise.
And it was my mom's recipe for Waldorf Astoria cake. So when you cut into it, it was red. very passionate color. It was beautiful to cut into at a masquerade ball.
And then Matt's daughter, Hannah, gave her own best man's toast in her own unique style.
I don't like public speaking that much, and I really love to dance. I dance a lot. My dance teacher helped us choreograph it, and I just really had fun with it.
Matt and Nicole's masquerade wedding will be treasured by everyone who was there and stands as a lasting tribute to the idea that finding true love is no fantasy and that dreams really do come true. Coming up next, a tropical fantasy wedding in a place called Paradise, and later, a lavish Moroccan celebration complete with belly dancers. Plus, design secrets from Christina Applegate's fantasy wedding dress. And actress Leah Thompson pulls out her favorite wedding photographs to share memories of her special day. All this when Weddings of a Lifetime returns. Welcome back to Weddings of a Lifetime presents Fantasy Weddings.
I knew that Ebony was the one when one morning we had gone out to breakfast and she had offered the tab. And no one had ever paid my way before for anything. So I was like, she's a keeper, she pays.
Yeah, when we met it, I know that she was the one for me. Because she had the sign, she said that I am the one.
We just had known each other for years. We were friends, and it's just this shocking, eye-opening, oh my God, my feelings for this woman are changing.
He was giving a speech, he was one of the leaders, and he was up on this big platform, you know, a long way away. There were thousands of people there, so he was this little dot. I turned to this girlfriend of mine, and I said, I'm gonna marry that guy. I said, he's Jewish, he's tall, and he's single. And at the time, he was none of those things, but that's how I imagined him to be.
They came from two very different worlds.
My name is Rick Smith. I am Director of Pro Personnel for the Denver Broncos.
I'm Tiffany Avery Smith. I've been a producer for the last 6 years. I was senior producer at the Judge Judy Show.
But when the TV producer from LA and the sports professional from Denver decided to create their fantasy wedding, they chose a location everyone dreams of, far away amidst the tropical blue waters of Paradise Island in the Bahamas. Rick and Tiffany first met at a party in Las Vegas.
He looked over and kind of told me to come here, and I kind of told him to come here.
She says, well, I live in Los Angeles. And I said, well, that's, I can't talk to you anymore because I don't do long distance relationship.
And I was talking to this other guy, and Rick came up and kind of tapped me on the shoulder and said, excuse me, bro, can I talk to her for a minute? So, I got kiki.
And once we started talking, it was apparent that we had a lot of things in common.
In his life with the Denver Broncos football team, Rick was used to making fast decisions. But when he invited Tiffany to fly in for a special event, both of them were surprised at how quickly they knew this relationship was the one.
So I got off the plane, and as soon as we hugged, it was like I just, whew.
It's when I knew that I was going to marry her.
It felt right. It felt right.
Just 4 weeks after they first met, Rick invited Tiffany to dinner in Denver, where he opened up a ring box to make a surprise proposal.
I was like, is that a wedding ring in there? I didn't hear anything he said, because I was so, is he about to propose? It's only been about a month.
I got on a knee and I asked her to marry me.
The platinum ring Rick presented featured a round diamond flanked by diamond baguettes on either side in an antique setting. For Tiffany, it was the perfect choice.
Really pretty. He did good. He did good.
Thank you.
Tiffany immediately switched from TV producer to wedding producer, finding their fantasy location in the Bahamas.
I had thought about the type of wedding that I wanted to have, to be married on an island, on the beach and that kind of thing with a very beautiful backdrop. Pictures don't do it justice. I was so pleased and happy when we got there.
It was just a perfect, beautiful, intimate, cozy spot.
For her dress, Tiffany worked with renowned celebrity designer Rebecca Richards, and together the couple hit on a theme that matched the island fantasy location.
When Tiffany came in, she had some pictures of things that she liked, and then she also ripped my magazines apart. I remember that exactly. So we just took all of the pictures, and immediately, once we started placing them on the table, the thing that stood out most for Tiffany were these amazing flowers. So the whole quest became to make those flowers look exactly the same on her dress.
Rebecca hand-stitched an intricate floral pattern into the fabric of the dress.
We chose French Lyon lace that was so incredible and embellished with just thousands of Austrian crystals. That dress, of all of the dresses that I've done, was one of the most memorable and magical dresses.
1 year and 2,500 miles later, a select group of friends and family members arrived at the Ocean Club on Paradise Island for a weekend they'd never forget.
My family didn't really know his family, so I wanted it to be the time that the Smiths meet the Averys and we become one family.
After 2 days to relax and enjoy life on the island, the big day arrived.
I felt very strengthened that morning. I didn't feel timid. I felt very confident that this was the right decision, and I wanted him to know that that's how I felt. So I explained to him in the letter how much I appreciated him. Dearest Rick, I am in the exquisite bliss of love right now. I pray that this love will not only...
I read the letter, and it was a wow. It was heartfelt, it was soft, it was strong, it was...
I'm proud of you. I love you.
It was, you know what, this is my wife. This is why I married her, you know what I mean? It touched me. It touched me big time.
Guests gathered in a secluded garden, while Rick's father helped guide his son towards the most important promise of his life.
I wanted to make sure that I remembered and I saw everything, trying to just see it all and take it all in.
Amidst a gentle Caribbean breeze, Tiffany's father, Roy, led his daughter down the aisle.
Please rise.
Wow.
It's funny, my father was just in a different space. I was really thinking about the exchange between Rick and my dad once I got down the aisle. You know, I got a little teary-eyed when they met because it was so strong. He told him to take care of his daughter.
Take good care of her. I will. Well, you know that. You know that. I will.
And when I got to him, the nervousness that I felt just going down the aisle, it all stopped.
Rick and Tiffany welcome each one of you as family members and friends here today to witness this marriage ceremony and to share their happiness on this their wedding day.
Reverend O.C. decided that we were going to recite our vows in unison. It was a unique way of doing it because we were able to really look at each other and kind of know that we're together, and let's recite them together.
Do it every day.
As I honor you,
As I honor you,
who share my life and dreams,
who share my life and dreams. And at the end of the actual exchanging of the vows, he presented us with roses, and then he had us exchange roses. He said that we then gave each other our first gift, and that whenever we came upon those rough times, that we should set a special place in our home for roses. If it was an argument or if it was something that we just didn't know how to get back, then either one of us would give each other a rose and nothing else would have to be said.
And we had plenty
I've given a few roses in a year.
pronounce you husband and wife. Rick, you may kiss your bride.
When he pronounced us husband and wife, I was on 10. I was so excited.
As they headed back to the hotel to the rhythms of a calypso band, guests showered the newlyweds with applause, cheers, and an unusual alternative to rice and confetti.
All of our guests had bubbles, and it just started the whole festive feeling for the reception. It was just so surreal and so secure and safe.
Throughout the evening, emotions ran high, and after a dinner of island-style steak and lobster, guests lined up to toast their favorite couple.
That beautiful, tiny little baby sister I always wanted so badly.
And even Denver Broncos head coach Mike Shanahan joined in the tributes.
Tiffany, may there be many touchdowns in your lives together.
And then it was time for the age-old traditions. A first dance, a very sexy garter toss, the catching of the bouquet, and the ceremonial cake cutting, with a wedding cake bathed in a sea of lavender roses to match the lace in Tiffany's dress.
Every part of that day, from the moment I woke up to the time I went to bed, was one of the most perfect days of my life. And it turned out to be
a wedding of a
lifetime. Hey!
When we return, a festive celebration with a Moroccan flair. And later, a ballerina and her Prince Charming create a wedding straight from the pages of a fairy tale. Plus, a look at the fantasy wedding gown created for actress Christina Applegate. That's next on Weddings of a Lifetime presents Fantasy Weddings. Welcome back to Weddings of a Lifetime presents Fantasy Weddings. They call Hollywood the Dream Factory. And when Maha Makdissi, a soft-spoken makeup artist from Lebanon, met assistant director Stuart Lesner on a music video set, they discovered that some Hollywood dreams really do come true.
He has amazing presence. And to be honest with you, I was kind of intimidated a little bit by him.
We just started talking, and we had a lot of things in common.
And then right after the shoot was done, we started hanging out and going out just solely as friends. And I got to learn about who Stuart was for a whole year, actually. I loved the person who he was, and then, you know.
It was the classic boy meets girl love story. But when it came time for the two movie professionals to get engaged, Stuart chose a location a world away from the craziness of Hollywood, Lizard Island off the coast of northern Australia.
It is, I'm telling you, Fantasy Island. As soon as we landed, my first thought was I need to sort of set the tone or get a feel for how I'm going to ask Maha to marry me. And I realized that I wanted to do it on a beach.
While Maha was snorkeling, Stuart was preparing to surprise her.
I sort of just started digging a little hole in the beach right there, and I took the ring that I'd carry across the world out, and I put it into the sand, and I started covering it up. And then I realized as I was covering up the ring, how do I get her to dig? So she comes out of the water after snorkeling, and I go, dig. That was it. I had nothing.
Stuart presented Maha with a classic Tiffany solitaire engagement ring, set in platinum.
We sat there and she cried, and it was this beautiful beach, and we pulled out this amazing lunch. And by the way, she did say yes. She said, I would love to.
The newly engaged couple began looking for a theme for their wedding, and inspiration came from Maha's favorite colors.
Since I was a little girl, I love like rich colors. I like warmth. And that, for me, it represents love and passion. And actually, it was Stuart's idea. He's like, what about if we have it like a Moroccan theme wedding? And because he went to Morocco like about, 5 years ago, and he has that culture in him. I mean, he was fascinated by the culture and the colors. And so I said, yeah, that'll be fantastic.
Deep red and gold would be the defining colors of the wedding, highlighted by everything from the invitations to the bridesmaids' dresses.
I gathered my bridesmaids and I said, okay, here's the color. This is what I'm looking for. So we went downtown actually for a whole day. It was a lot of fun. one of my bridesmaids found this amazing fabric, the same color that I was looking for, rich, beautiful, deep red, and it has gold specks in it. I didn't put any input as far as like the design of each and every bridesmaid's dress. And so we tied it together, and it was just beautiful to see the final finish.
And for her dress, Maha went to Les Habitudes in Beverly Hills, where she had no doubt about her final choice.
I picked out a dress that was actually antique ivory color and with all embroidery on it. And it's absolutely beautiful. It's all handmade. It tied with the whole theme because it had that antique, rich feeling to it.
And so it came to the day of the wedding. And for the biggest production of her life, Maha stayed calm doing what she did on film sets every day.
At one point, I was doing somebody's makeup. I mean, that's how calm I was.
Maha's 17-year-old son, Eddie, kept his mom in good spirits. While outside, designers Randy Olson and Brian Worley were putting the finishing touches on the Moroccan fantasy.
They wanted a production. They wanted us to recreate a whole Moroccan village. Imported Moroccan rug became the runner. Lined that with rose petals that matched all of the deep reds and burgundy colors that we had chosen.
As the sun began to settle over the grounds of a magnificent Hollywood Hills estate, 250 of Maha and Stewart's friends and family members gathered to witness a passionate, deeply spiritual exchanging of vows.
The ceremony, it was outside. It was around 5:30 in the afternoon while the sun was setting. So just imagine the colors.
When the actual music started and Maha walked out, it was the most inspiring moment.
Maha had asked Eddie to escort her down the aisle. For the bride, it was a coming together of family old and new.
Here I am with like the two most important guys in my life. In this moment, you know, in this setting, it was magical.
At that moment, this is when we were actually to really come together.
The couple chose a non-traditional ceremony full of ancient symbolism. Red and white roses were put together representing Maha and Stewart's union, followed by a passing of a candle flame to include each of the guests in their marriage.
For as the older ones are witness to this rite, I now pronounce you husband and wife.
After the ceremony, guests prepared to move into a spectacular Moroccan wedding tent under the silver light of a new moon.
900 yards of fabric we ended up using, draping almost a small city there. This Moroccan tent, authentic as if the family had come together and was doing an elaborate celebration.
And the moment the guests were seated, Maha and Stewart made a dramatic and highly memorable entrance.
We had 6 or 7 belly dancers with chandeliers on their heads. They started dancing, and we were right there behind them. Everybody was surprised.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. Stewart Kessler!
Everybody was just like on their feet, clapping, like, yay, you know, that's really cool.
As guests enjoyed a sumptuous 6-course banquet, Maha's son Eddie paid tribute to the newlyweds.
Hi everybody, Maha's son. All right, Stu, you're a good man, you know, well deserved of my mother. You know, like a flower, you attracted the most desired and delicate of butterflies. You know? I wish the both of you and all of you, the sun, the moon, the stars, the universe, and all your heart's desires.
After a passionate slow dance, the newlyweds performed the ritual cake cutting. And the cake was a multi-tiered masterpiece, with every detail matching the centerpieces on the wedding tables.
It had that antique feel to it. It was phenomenal.